XYZ followers, and welcome back to the question where you have the questions and I have the answers. And before we get started today, I just want to say thank you so much for liking my bi-erasure video. It's only been up for not even 24 hours and it has 13 views and 2 likes and a lot of comments, and I'm just so happy that you guys like it and that you guys are taking this seriously because it's a serious problem. The next thing is, someone commented that they wanted to hear stories about Ethan, and I have a lot of them. Not all of them good, not all of them bad. So if that's something that you want to hear about, if you want me to do a video about some stories I have and some memories I have with Ethan, then comment below like what kind of stories you want. If there's any specific story or if there's just something that you want to know about him, I am all for that. And without further ado, on to today's video, which actually will also evolve a lot around Ethan, because my stepdad requested that I do a video about how to learn how to trust again, because I have a lot of trust issues because of history I have with my family and with Ethan and some friends more recently. And I'm starting to learn how to trust again in this quarantine period because I have time to do that without having to immediately see everybody again. Self-love in quarantine. This is what we're trying to do. Anyway, let's start with some background. I have a lot of trust issues, as I mentioned before, and I think I've mentioned in past videos that I have a lot of issues trusting people, and if you know me in person, then you'll know that I have a lot of I have a hard time trusting people, because just I'm used to sort of people just using me, manipulating me, especially Ethan, because I dated him for almost 3 years and he was like my best friend. He knew everything about me. He knew all my strengths, my weaknesses, my deepest, darkest fears, my insecurities, everything. And just towards the end, on the second half of our relationship, it just sort of became amusing to him. He used to go and say things that would make me cry just because he thought it was funny. And then there's actually a picture of me I have on my wall over here because my friend made me a poster with a bunch of pictures of me that he got from friends, and there's a picture that Ethan took of me crying after we got into a fight just because he thought it would look cute that I was crying. And then after we broke up, he sort of would use all my insecurities and doubts against me and just sort of would non-stop just either text me or find me in person and tell me what a bad person I was and basically exploit everything I'd ever entrusted in him. And then the same thing happened with all my friends who sided with him after the breakup, because they would go and they'd be like, yeah, we're here for you, we're gonna be, because I've known him for a while, and they go and spread rumors about me and say bad things about me and just go and choose him over me. And it hurt a lot. And so, but I had trust issues even before then. But that just sort of made it a lot worse, which was bad because then I got into another relationship and I wasn't able to be the best that I could be because I was still trying to get over that, and I never really trusted him to actually be there for me because the last person who was supposed to be there for me wasn't. And I never really could open up to him, and I felt bad. So now I'm single. Hey. Which is not as great as it sounds, but and then I said family was just I think it's without say that as a kid you just undoubtedly trust your family because you don't know any better. And I'm slowly learning that I resent at least my dad's half of the family because of the fact that they never really cared about me. And it was going through life and then just a sudden realization one day that they never gave two shits about me. And so that hurt a lot. I hurt a lot. And so yeah, to sum up, I have trust issues, and now we're going to talk about how to get over that and how to learn how to trust again, which is what I've been trying to do. I think the first step that's really sort of helped me at least a little bit, at least a tiny bit, is allowing yourself to have these people in your life, you know? I think it's like believing that you are worth having people, you know, in your life. Because at least something that I do is sort of, I kind of just like push everyone away and hold everybody like at arm's length. I try not to tell people a lot about my life or about what I'm going through. Or I have like very few people that I actually trust, because I think if I tell like the wrong person this or the wrong person that, then they're gonna go and like use it against me, or they're gonna leave me. And you just have to believe that you are someone who is worth, you know, being there for. You gotta love yourself, basically. You gotta love yourself first. And I think it's ironic because one of my friends, Steven, always says that my biggest issue is a low self esteem. I always say it's not, but it kind of is. I know I have a lot of other issues, but I think like the biggest one is self esteem issues. And it's gotten better, but still, it's like you have to love yourself first and say, hey, I'm gonna talk to this person because, and they're not gonna leave me because I'm a great person, and they wouldn't leave me. You know, you have to like instill in yourself the fact that they aren't gonna leave you because you're worth staying around, because you're a good friend, because you're a good person, because you're you and you're special. And something I always say to myself, something I always say to, once again, Steven or somebody else, about like self worth and self care, is that you have to treat yourself like you're gonna date yourself. So all of that love and care that you are gonna put into someone else, you have to put into yourself first. Which is why I get dressed every day in something that looks cute and feels comfortable, because I'm gonna dress up for myself. I'm gonna look nice for myself. You know, it's like I'm not getting dressed for anybody else. I'm not getting nice for everybody else. I'm gonna look nice for myself because I'm in a relationship with myself. And unlike other people, you can't break up with yourself. You can. I think that's like suicide, and that's not a good idea. We don't endorse that here. You know, if you're suicidal, please get help. Uh, because you gotta like just be there and show up for yourself first, and sort of saying and believing that you are worth it is the first step to trusting someone again. And the second step would be after you sort of like convince yourself, like, you know, I mean, you may not even believe it, but if you start saying it, I think that my friend slash close acquaintance, it's complicated. This person I know, Nick, always says fake it till you make it, which I think is funny because his entire personality is like fake, but you know, if it works for him, it works for him. He's gonna have a crash and burn one day, but we're all gonna be there for him because we care about him. Fake till you make it. So I know that's like something people say a lot, and I'm one of those people who first says, oh, if people say it a lot, then I don't want to do it, you know, just because it's so like normalized, and I try so very hard to be like not within the norm, which is a whole other issue I have, because we hold individuality way too high in a society, and that's a whole other rant that could go on later. But it's true sometimes. Some things, in some cases, you can fake it till you make it, and it's one of those things that if you do hear it a lot, if you say it a lot, then eventually it will become true. At least in this case. Like, some cases you can't just fake it till you make it. You know, some things you should actually try and get help, outside help for. And always trust issues. I recommend going to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, psychologist, someone. I recommend a professional, but if you can't, the first steps you can take is loving yourself, and then faking it till you make it. And once you sort of convinced yourself that you know you're worth it, try opening up to people you haven't really opened up to, or opening up to people you know that you want to open up to. Just like maybe not like a big whole thing, like you don't just spill your life story to them unless you feel comfortable with that, but just start out small. Like talk to them more, maybe like let out some like not like big heavy stuff. You like don't scare them away, you know? But like tell them, you know, about like just be honest with them, be upfront, you know? This isn't like a high school movie you have to play all these games and trick them. More likely or not, if you're just straight up honest with people, they will understand because they're your friend for a reason. And if they leave you because of something you say, then they really weren't your friend in the first place. And I'm sorry to say that because everybody's had to say that to me, and it hurts a lot and doesn't feel that way. But after a while, like a few months, it will start to feel the way and you'll feel better. Uh, you'll miss them, obviously, but it'll be like, you know, it just leaves you room for like more friends that you can make, more like honest and true friends who will be there and help you. And of course, like, just continue on with that trend, because the more you open up to people, like just starting out slow, once you start that process and you see that they're still there for you and that they're trying to help you and that you may be closer with them, then you won't have to fake it anymore, because now you have like that evidence to back up that you see you're worth helping. You're someone worth being around, worth spending time and putting effort into, because you're a great person and people care about you. And that's really the big thing, is realizing your own self-worth. And I wish that mental health was sort of pushed more in our society, because it really is super important to everything we do in life. But right now, we can't just like storm the government and say, hey, implement these laws, so that make sure that every kid is happy and healthy. But we can go and at least show up for ourselves and show up for other people and trust that people will show up for us. It's like that karma. If you put good energy out into the world, good energy will come back to you. Bad energy, bad energy will come back to you. If you are someone who goes and helps a whole bunch of people, then I can believe you that there's at least one person who'll be willing to go and help you through your time. Something else that Nick said was validate your self-worth by knowing that you are a good person. Use the fact that you are a good person to validate that you're a good, validate, your self-worth. If you help people on a daily basis, or if you try, or if you do any like good acts, I bet you there are people who care about you and will pay it forward, either to you or to somebody else. And just don't give up, because it sucks a lot now. And trust me, I have like some traumatic experiences, and I have PTSD like reactions to those experiences, and it sucks a lot. And sometimes I just want to give up and just crawl into a hole and like die slowly and hate myself and sleep all day and not wake up and never see the light of day again, because I'm just having such a bad day. But there are always people there who will hold your hand while you cry and scream and kick and claw at them and claw yourself and just be an overall ugly person, because you deserve that time. You are there for everybody else, and you deserve to have those ugly moments to yourself. But realize that those ugly moments aren't an everyday thing. They're like, I need to let this out of my system. And then there's people who are holding your hand through all the ugly. Are going to be there to pat you on the back and hug you and ruffle your hair, wipe your eyes, and say it's going to be okay. And it's those kinds of people that you cannot take for granted, because those are the best kind of people. And maybe you are that kind of person, and once again, you are the best kind of person. Realize that, and then just start the process, and it will get better. And that's the thing you have to remember, is that it will get better. It always gets better. And some days it feels like you're taking like one step forward and 2 steps back, but it's not always like a linear system. Sometimes you take 5 steps forward and 1 step back, or sometimes you take 1 step forward and like 4 steps back. It's not gonna be a good trend the entire time. It's not gonna be a bad trend the entire time. It's just, life is what it is. There's randomness in the year, and you have to accept that. And some days you're going to have bad days, and depression's going to be bad, and anxiety's going to be bad, but you can't give up, because the next day could be the best day of your life, the best day of your year, the best day of your week, just the best day. Not every day is going to be fantastic. You're not going to win the lottery every single day, but not every day is going to be terrible. Your pet's not going to die every single day. You just have to take life in your stride and be like, whatever this is, I can handle it. And just trust that whatever comes at you, you can do it. And that you'll always have people in your life who care about you. And it's going to be harder now, because we can't see people directly, like face to face. We're kind of stuck with our family. So if you're in an abusive relationship, I'm sorry. If you're in an abusive household, I'm sorry. but we'll get through it together. One thing, I was on a Zoom call with my library like volunteer partners, and everyone was like, "We really want to hug." You know, that's what we miss most is hugs. And I said, "Oh my God, yes, hugs are the best thing in the world." And something I always tell my ex-boyfriend, not Ethan, but Will, is that when he gets really upset, I say, "Just go hug your mom, because she will make you feel better." I think we take hugs for granted sometimes. So if you're having a bad day, just hug someone close to you. And if you don't have someone you want to hug a stuffed animal. Or hug yourself. Because we need that care now more than ever with all this craziness going on. So remember, love yourself. Fake loving yourself if you have to. Show up for yourself, and then use that confidence boost to go and open up to others just a little bit, and then more and more and more, until one day you're realizing you don't have to fake it anymore. I believe in you. And I'll try and do the same thing. I will try my hardest to do the same thing. And some days will be good and some days will be bad. And that's life. That's what all the people say. That's my video. And remember to comment below what kind of stories you want me to tell about Ethan. That sounds like a really fun video to make. And I'm trying to be, once again, more open about my experiences with that. Because once again, talking about things and just getting it out in the open is going to make you feel better. Don't try and hold everything inside, or you're going to, like, die. All that, like, negativity is just going to eat you up and you'll die. Not literally, but, like, metaphorically it will. So I love all of you. Have a wonderful Tuesday. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.